What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another video. YNW Melly is facing the death penalty and his trial has officially started. What is Melly charged with? Melly is charged with killing his best friend, Christopher Thomas, aka YNW Juvie, Anthony Williams, aka YNW Sack Chaser. 2 counts of murder. Prosecution is saying that him and YNW Bortland, his real name is Cortland Henry, drove Williams and Thomas down and shot these two men and staged it to look like a drive-by shooting. What should we expect today? This is the first chance that the prosecution can show the evidence that they basically got against them right now. I was basically doing research on this whole case, watching the trial today begin. And a few key pointers that I took from the prosecution right now. Now they coming out with hardcore video of Melly getting into the car, and they have Instagram messages of somebody messaging off of this promotion page saying, "Yeah, we got them." And there was a few good pointers on Melly defense that I liked as well, that could show that it could have been a whole bunch of other people on that promotion site. The prosecution came in pretty strong with some hard evidence the first day. Let's hear what the prosecution had to say.
October 26th of 2018, this defendant shot and killed 2 of his friends. He killed Christopher Thomas and Anthony Williams. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to set out the story and how this unfolded and lay out what I expect the evidence will show during the course of this trial. First thing you are going to hear is that at 4:35 a.m. on October 26th of 2018, Cortland Henry, the co-defendant, shows up at Memorial Miramar Hospital. In his car, he has 2 dead bodies. In the front passenger seat is Anthony Williams. In the rear passenger seat is Christopher Thomas. They are dead, they are riddled with bullets, and the car is full of blood. Christopher Thomas is sitting in the rear. There is multiple defects to his body. Anthony Williams, who is sitting in the front, has 2 major injuries. Officer Jessica Amangor is working a detail at the hospital. Cortland Henry runs in, starts telling a story about a drive-by, quote-unquote drive-by. On October 26th, after about 8 a.m. in the morning, Eastern time, multiple messages are coming in. Messages are coming in from individuals checking to see if he's okay, if he's been injured in this drive-by. If it's true that Anthony Williams, who's also sometimes referred to as Sack, and Chris Thomas, who is referred to as Juvie, are really dead. One individual, and specifically, sends out, and I want to quote the message exactly that you will hear, and says, right after this, "Yo, homie, you good? Let me know something." And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is where context matters. What does that mean? If you work at Google and you say, "My whole floor is coding," that's a good thing. If you work at Broward General Hospital and you say, "My whole floor is coding," that is a bad thing. The context around the messages matters. So in the context of this message, this individual is reaching out, asking if Mr. Demmons is good, after he's been tagged in multiple social media posts about this drive-through, this shooting. And Mr. Demmons responds very succinctly, "I did that."
The prosecution definitely made some good pointers, but I love the counterattacks that the defense had to all her statements. Let's hear what the defense had to say.
3 years after arresting this young man and sticking him in a cell, the state looks at its case and says, "Oh man, this looks a little incompetent. Miramar Police seems to have botched this investigation, and they call the Broward Sheriff's Office and ask them to come and look at the investigation upon which this entire prosecution rests. And he looks at it, and he says he instantly knew he had to start from scratch. I think his words were, "It was the worst thing I had seen in my life." This is the Broward Sheriff's Office evaluating the work product of the Miramar Police Department. And we have problems with the Broward Sheriff's Office redo as well, but you're going to hear about that during the course of this trial. Ladies and gentlemen, the murder of anybody and the murder of these two young men was a tragedy. You're not here to solve a crime. That's their job, and they have botched it. Rick Coburn, who is he? He is a gentleman that owns a social media account by the name of Backwards. This social media account, almost immediately, within days after these murders, posts this message: LOL, we killed two of your niggas. Oh, really? Took him 7 months to go and talk to Mr. Coburn, the owner of this account, that posts what amounts to an unequivocal confession to involvement in that murder, in those murders. 7 months. Why? Moretti already had his guy. And when they go and talk to Mr. Coburn, what does he say? He said, "Oh, I created that account and I sold it for $20 to somebody else." Who'd you sell it to? "Oh, I can't remember." "Were you at the murder scene?" "No." "Did you do it?" "No." Case closed. That's it. No more investigation. It would occur to a reasonable person, let alone a seasoned investigator acting in good faith.
The thing that I like most was him talking about that the messages that somebody basically already claimed that they did it. Why didn't you check into him? Just because you had your high profile suspect, they never really checked into this Backwoods account or whatever. Just because they got their guy, they didn't take the full steps that they needed to do to get this case closed and clear Melly name. That's one piece of evidence that they didn't detect. But I'm sure as the weeks go on, only more evidence is going to come to the stand. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe.